So glad to have you here. After the big announcement at E3, we don't have any big reveal to make today at Gamescom, but please don't leave. I mean, we have some stuff to show you. We thought it would be a good opportunity to show you some behind-the-scenes stuff, especially regarding performance capture, the collaboration with Ellen Page, how we work together, and how all this thing came really together. So we'll have a presentation in two parts. First part will be showing you exclusive making of stuff and discussing performance capture and Ellen. We will have a short Q&A section, so if you guys have any question about this aspect of the game, please feel free to ask. And for those of you who were not at E3, we will show you a short version of live code, the live code we showed at E3. So if you were at E3, you can leave the room, or unless you want to see it again, but it's basically the same code. So this presentation will really focus on what is one of the main differences between Heavy Rain and Beyond, which is the gameplay with the entity, how we control the entity and how it's okay. So let's start with performance capture and collaboration with Ellen Page. So maybe you guys are not familiar with the difference between motion capture and performance capture, and sometimes it's really confusing. Basically, the way most games are shot, and the way we did Heavy Rain, for example, was based on the idea that you shoot with one actor at a time in a sound booth, and you capture the facial animation and the voice of an actor in a sound booth. And then once you're done with that, you go on the mocap stage, play the audio that you just recorded, and have the body gestures kind of in sync with the audio. That's one way of doing it. Other people doing it slightly differently. Some people just do dubbing, so they just shoot something and then they overdub the audio. But in general, the idea is always the same. We rarely capture everything at the same time, which means that we lose a lot of the performance just because we have different takes that we need to recompose to recreate the entire performance. Performance capture is based on the idea that you capture the facial animation, the audio, and the body of the actor at the same time, which means that suddenly you get body language in sync with the audio, which was something impossible before. So all this started in CG movies, and they started with Lord of the Rings, they started with different Polar Express, and more recently they did Avatar, of course, using this technology, and Tintin, and now pretty much everything is shot in performance capture in movies. So we just wanted to find a way to adapt this technology to the needs of games, because we thought it would allow us to make a big step forward in matter of acting, and to have actors really delivering a very emotional performance in a very precise way. But the problem we had with what Hollywood was doing was, if you look at the making of Avatar, they have helmets, actors have an helmet with a camera in front, with a light. And the problem is that this is quite intrusive for actors. I mean, having a camera and a light in front of you all the time as you move around is something quite disturbing. And at the same time, you can't say goodbye to all the kiss scenes, because then you will collide with the cameras. Each time characters become really close, I mean, it's impossible to shoot. And also they have a very specific approach to this, which was that they shot with video signal. They filmed the face, then they give the movie to an animator, and the animator was in charge of animating the face based on the movie that they shot. So that's a lot of work. You need very talented artists to do it at this level of quality that you can see in Avatar, and at the same time, it's really time-consuming. Given the volumes we had to deal with in matter of data on Heavy Rain, on Beyond, we're talking about hours and hours of performance capture. This option was not possible for us because it would take too much time and cost too much money. And at the same time, we were not big fans of this very intrusive helmet that actors had in front of them. We really wanted to free the actors so they could just think about acting and about nothing else. So we needed to come up with our own solutions and see how we could deal with this production and creative constraints at the same time, and make something that would be a very the same time would be manageable on production save time in the morning when we prepare. There's about 1 hour preparation before we can shoot. Just to make sure that markers are exactly at the same place every day. So little hole, we just put the markers in the holes and we're sure it's always there at the exact same place. So this is very high level how we did it. Let's see a little bit more with Avatar in a very precise way. So we have a team of about 12 people, highly specialized in cloning people. So we scan not only their face, we scan their body in a very, very precise way. It's under the millimeter. And we can recreate an in 3D in a very precise way. And then we can shoot. So the shooting's been a lot of work. It's about 12 months of shooting pretty much every day for 12 months. So this is pretty much like 4 or 5 movies shot at the same time. Preparing the same process every morning. This is a gym we call a ROM, which is a technical thing we do every morning, pretty much twice or 3 times a day, to make sure that the markers are where they are, and that we're sure, with Steve showing what to do. And we have a gym with a face, same thing. And this is the result in real time. This is really what we get. So it works exactly seamlessly without any post-animation.
I got a couple of things to explain before.
This is Evan's first day on stage.
What we're going to do, how we're going to work, technique, and all those things. We just capture the markers, but the markers are really precise, including on your face. So you don't need to overact. You don't need to do that complicated things like this. I mean, you can be as subtle as you would in a film. And the technology will get it. So don't bother about all this. And don't touch your markers. Interactivity is really a strange thing compared to movies where you don't need to bother about what the audience will do because they just watch. Here, most of the time the player will control you. So in some cases you will have to do something and do a variation of this based on what the player says. So don't be surprised you saw that in the script if sometimes you need to say yes and no and maybe. So it's a big day for 2 reasons, because there are many pages, but also because you'll be 4 actors today on stage. So Blair is with us.
So this kind of sessions happen very often, spending a lot of time talking to actors. Keep in mind that the director is the only thing they can relate to, because there's nothing there apart from the script and the character. So we better be there, because look at what it looks like. Look at these silly props. These are people eating and we're going to shoot that, and you need to explain and you need to make sure that and all actors understand the situation, understand the emotion.
Give this confidence.
And with this silly stuff that they don't laugh too often, which was a real challenge because it was really funny sometimes.
Are you okay?
Yes. It's just it's really hot.
Okay, can we start that just for a bit?
This is your control mechanism.
Cool! Is that the one? No. The apartment only works if certain choices were made.
But, yes.
Because in some cases
Okay,
he left
got me.
before we...
Even I got lost sometimes.
Maybe I should just say...
And then was it, by the way, this is an helicopter, in case you didn't notice. It's an helicopter on
I feel
wheels.
like if I open
It
it
can
first...
move around. So we have a very important dialogue with this helicopter with crazy stuff happening.
Probably the first person you want to talk to is the case, but instead of saying what you want him to say, which is you were right, Julie, to make this decision, and I need you, the only thing you can say is come back and we'll talk.
Again, giving context, getting out to the right emotional space, what we see. And we really shot a lot of things very quickly. Because, you know, in films, what happens is that usually they have a lot of time between scenes because they need to prepare the lights and they need to change the set, etc., etc. So usually actors shoot only 3 pages a day on a film. But here, as we don't have lights, we don't have cameras, we don't have nothing to prepare, you just move a bunch of crates and here you are, new scene. I mean, you need to be very fast and the actors need to be very fast to jump from one scene to another, to jump from one emotional state to another. This is just a work we did with the props, just to give you an idea of the crazy amount of work that these guys did. each time there is a new set, we need to prepare the prompt to make sure that all the contacts and the positioning space are right. So that's been really,
It's Saturday
really
night and I'm
elaborate.
16. I'm locked up in here and I just want to go out and have some fun.
Can't do it, babe. Rules are rules. You was never seen again.
Yeah, why not?
Jamal Sheikh Sharif.
It's not your call, Aiden. I can do what I want. That's why I'm not talking.
Listen, when did you move in?
A couple weeks ago.
Never seen you once. Take it. You might not get the answers you're looking for.
I'm not looking for answers. I just need to see her. You lied to me.
Helicopter.
You tell them that if they try to find me, I'll kill them. Tell them, Nathan.
Don't you have anyone? No family, friends you can turn to?
There's something I have to tell you. About me.
Country. And they know what she can do.
Take care of them, Nathan.
So now we're in control of Aiden. Jody's surrounded by focus forces. This is really in the middle of the scene. I'm sorry, this is really the last section of the scene. But you can see we have a cord here linking us to Jody behind the car. So this is the limits of where we can go. We can go quite far. It really depends on the Jody's mental states, age, and different things. But you can see we can go quite far until the image becomes really blurry. This is really the limits of how far we can go. But we can fly. We're totally free to move around and do different things. So what's interesting is that we can go through matter. We can just go through things because remember we're just a ghost. So it's a real freedom. And we're totally invisible. Of course, no one can see us. We're a ghost. Another interesting thing we can do is actually interact with matter. When you see this thing appearing, and these two orbs, they correspond to the two sticks. When you spread them apart, you can actually send a blast. And you can destroy different things. So again, the level of power you have depends on the mental state of Judy, of the age, and of which is. You see that there are this tiny color around people. That tells you what you can do with them. For example, these two right now, they are spread apart. We need to put them together again with the two sticks, and you can choke them to death. And you can see the soul leaving. Obviously, remember we're ghosts. Now let's see. There's probably another way of interacting. Maybe the snipers up there. Another thing that Aiden can do is really take possession of people. Get into their body. And of course use them to do different things. But when you get killed, your soul leaves and you're ejected. Okay, these are some of the things we can do. This is a sandbox. You're pretty much free to do whatever you want. There are many, many different ways of getting rid of all these people. And you can, for example, try to play like putting gas on the floor, maybe there's something we can do. Oh, wait a minute, you can wreck this thing, which will send sparks to the fire station. That's one way of doing it, there are many, many other ways.
It's fucked up!
So basically you can do different things and really try to use your powers and see what all the things you can do. You can also interact with larger objects and including this big rock.
Take cover!
Aiden, they're coming! Keep them off me! The door! Aiden, I can't get in! Open the door!
Here we go, she goes in the cinema, tries to lock get on inside. What is she doing? God, they're going to come any minute now. I can still get rid of some of them, but they're getting closer and closer.
Getting closer! You gotta help me!
Negative! That's a negative, Captain!
They're gonna get me! Come on, Aiden, help me! Tell them to leave me the fuck alone, because next time, I'll kill everyone. Come on, Aiden. I think they get the message.
Okay, that was not the most